Okay, hi everyone, I'm Frank Malico. Welcome to Base Sunday. Good to have you back with us. Another great show on tap today. And we begin with a former 49er, a man that won it all back in 1982 on the Niners' first Super Bowl team. Had it all, but let celebrity take over and nearly lost it all to drugs and jail time until he finally had an epiphany and completely turned his life around. It's an inspiring story who is now helping others find their way as well. Let's say hi to number 80 himself, tight end Eason Ramson. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Frank.
Good morning.
I'm doing well.
Good to have you on board.
It's really a blessing to be here.
Well,
Thank you.
Let's take you back. 1982, you win the Super Bowl. You were dabbling prior to that, but your world and celebrity all kind of fell apart. What happened?
Well, it started with, experimenting, with the drug and then the recreational stage, because we were winning games and of course I was introduced to it by my teammates, peer pressured into it. And
we're talking about cocaine?
Yeah. The cocaine. Actually, I had went out with a bunch of the players right after I made the team, and the announcements were made, all the cuts were made. I had made the team. They invited me to go out one night, and we went to a club. We went to go have some fun. Got to the club a few minutes, 45 minutes or so into the night. I'm partying and dancing and having fun. One of them come over to me and say, "Eason, come meet us in the restroom about 5 minutes. We got something for you." And I went to the restroom. I actually didn't wait that long. I was there. I beat everybody there, pacing back and forth, waiting for them to show up.
Sure.
And then when they showed up, they formed a semicircle around me, and they all embraced me. They hugged me and welcomed me and told me how great I had inspired them during training camp. And just total congratulations. While they're doing all this, one of them reaches in his pocket, and he pulls out this little vial. And this little vial had this white powdery substance in it, and it was a little glass vial, and it had a top on it. And he screwed that top off. On the end of that top was a chain, and on the end of that chain was a little tiny spoon. So he screwed that top off and dipped that spoon into that container, and he put it up to my nose. He says, "Welcome to the NFL." And of course, I knew what that substance was. It was cocaine. And in that moment, my process was going through my mind. These are people I want to be like. I'm here. I've arrived, and I experimented that day. I tried it.
You did, and it took over your life. You ended up in jail 3 different times. You ended up in jail, and somewhere along the line, Bill Walsh, who had traded you maybe because of your problem.
Definitely because of the problem.
But he wrote you letters while you were in the state pen.
Yeah.
And showed up at an arraignment.
Yeah.
And began mentoring you back to good health.
Yes. Bill, when the last people standing in my life were, at that point were my mother, Bill Walsh, and some of my ex-teammates, like Bubba Paris, Keena Turner, Ronnie Lott, people like that were writing letters, and they were putting stuff in those letters and saying things about me that I had lost contact with because my life had just totally nosedived into I was looking at 35 to life, and, if it wasn't for, Bill's talking to the judge and asking the judge, to give me another chance, and Bubba Paris, of course, he did the same thing, and it's like all these people, that come into my support. If it wasn't for them, I'd be still in prison.
Well, what's amazing is Bill Walsh went from coach he was a mentor, a coach. He almost became a father figure. You've come full circle. You were clean. You are now the Senior Director of Youth Services at the Bayview Hunters Point YMCA.
Yes, sir.
And you've got your pros and cons.
Yes.
Your own organization where you're helping kids now beat this stuff, get out of the streets, and get on with their lives. Talk about that.
Well, in that moment when the things I saw Bill do and my former teammates do to show that they cared about me at a time when I didn't care about myself, and when a time when no one else ever everybody else had given up on me, and to have that influence of care from those particular people, it really inspired me if I was going to get another chance, I made a commitment in that moment when Bill had talked to the judge that if I get another chance, I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to pay this forward.
And you are.
And I'm paying it forward. I'm the things that Bill did for me, you know, the things that the other players did for me, I do now for youth who other people have given up on, you know. And like, for example, the Bayview Hunters Point, where, you know, we believe in youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. We meet those kids where they are, no matter what their challenges have been, and we address those needs, and we peel back the layers, and we show them a better way through strength-based approaches.
How does that make you feel?
You know what?
You've now become Bill Walsh to these kids, in essence.
You know, my championship, and I get, you know, my championships twice a year because we have graduations twice a year. Yeah. When I see those kids walk the stage, kids that had no hope, and now it's over 300 youth now have done this to become viable assets to their community, their families, and they've got college degrees or they've got diplomas, and they're assets now.
Well, we are sadly running out of time because your story is remarkable, where you've come and where you are now. I know you got an event. Why don't you tell us about your event real quickly?
Well, we have a merchant walk coming up. And the purpose of a merchant walk, we're doing this with the Bayview Hunters Point YMCA and the Center for Academic Reentry and Empowerment, the CARE program. The purpose of this merchant walk is to give information and to embrace the community about the effects of truancy. Yeah. We want to, because truancy is not just a school district problem, you know, it's a community issue, because these kids, when they're not in school, then these negative things are happening in the community.
Do you do this each year?
So we do this each year, yeah. So we're going to do, and this year it's going to be led by some of my graduates.
Okay,
yeah,
even better.
Some of my graduates that have, you know, been there, done that, and turned it around, and they're inspired now to come forward and to lead this merchant walk. And we're going to, people from the community, we're going to carve out a path and walk up 3rd Street, and we're going to pass out marketing materials and information about the CARE program, and give people strategies on how they can help get these kids off the streets.
Awesome. Keep up the good work, Eason.
Thank you.
I think you could still play, actually. You're still working out, but big
Yes,
grip,
sir.
too. Okay, Eason Ramson, thanks so much. For more information about the Bayview Hunters Point YMCA, log on to ymcasf.org. That's ymcasf.org. Back for more Bay Sunday. Stay right there, folks.